Hello, my loves. Welcome or welcome back to Chemistry with Kismet Tarot. I am Monica, the Kismet Chemist. And today's meeting, we are. Okay. Hello, my loves. Welcome or welcome back to Chemistry with Kismet Tarot. I am Monica, the Kismet Chemist. And in today's timeless reading, we are receiving messages from your ancestors. They want to sit down with you. They want to talk to you, talk about where you're at right now, what energy you're in, and the path going forward. As I was, moving into my week this week, I had actually intended to not sit down and record this week. I've been very diligently working on my Pluto retrograde breakdown of all of the transits and the zodiac seasons for you all, which is almost done. So stay tuned. It should be available this week. But as I was doing that, I started shuffling my cards and I felt this overwhelming calling to sit down with you and to bring these messages forward. As I was preparing last night, I was shuffling the Energy and Spirit Oracle. And within this Oracle deck, there are multiple cards, including indicators of different guides, different angels. And so I asked who wanted to come forward and bring messages 3 times in a row or so. It was the Ancestors card that came out. I said, okay, let's sit down and do that. So I was awoken by your ancestors this morning at about 4:10 my time. And I just felt intuitively it was time to sit down and have them guide me to decks, have them tap into their energy and have the cards come out. And I asked, what is this overall energy, this overall theme that you want to bring in? And I heard a song in my head playing over and over again, and it is A Little Bit of Love by Weezer. And I will actually include a link down in the description box so you guys can check out the song. And then I heard, let's talk about the path ahead. And so there are 3 types of ancestors. Most of the time when we think of ancestors, we think of our family lineage, the people who came before and our family tree. And that is one type of ancestor. However, we are immortal, eternal souls. And we come into this world and we come in multiple incarnations, in multiple places, during a multitude of different times. So the life you're living now, you have ancestors based off of your family lines, your lineage. However, there are also ancestors that you carry within your soul from specific places that you have been or you have incarnated. There are ancestors based off of specific times you have been in the world and incarnated. And then there are the ancestors based off of blood. So we have 3 piles. The first pile is Journey Guide and the Akashic Tarot. And this is Ancestors of Place. The second pile is the card Wisdom of the Magi and the Psychic Tarot, and it is Ancestors of Time. And the third pile is the card Connections, and it is the Angel Tarot, and it is Ancestors of Blood. Take some time, sit with the energy of the cards, ask your ancestors to come in and to guide you to what messages there are for you, what pile or piles are calling to you, are ready to speak to you, and open your energy so that you may receive these messages without resistance, so they may help expand your awareness and bring in just a little bit of love. I will give you some time to look over the cards and see you at your piles. Hello, pile 1. If you chose Journey Guide and the Akashic Tarot, this is your pile. I want to open this reading with the intention of clear, concise messages, awareness and understanding, and open up the energy for your ancestors of place so their messages may flow through and help guide you during this time. All right, pile 1. So the card, the Journey Guide, it's the card 22, which is a master number. It is a master builder number. And the card indicates travel or change in location. And it does not surprise me that this was the card that flew out when it came to Ancestors of Place. Your pile in specific, when I was shuffling, was the one that was the most eager to come through, the most ready. I'm hearing SpongeBob in my head going, I'm ready, I'm ready. And this energy that I feel, it's as though you're poised to take a next step. I'm seeing somebody, like the images back in the 1920s or so with black and white magazines, and they've got a diving board and there's a man on the diving board and he's got his hands like this and he's about to jump and dive. That's the energy that I'm seeing. There's something that has been building up for you. It's been coming and you felt it. And it's been a long time. I'm seeing 12 threes. So it may have been anywhere from 12 months to 3 years that it's like you've been diligently working on you and really genuinely trying to move forward from something, from some situation, from some event, from some person, just something. It's going to be different for everyone, but I get this sense of I am ready for this to be in the past. I am ready for this closure, for this door to be shut. I am ready for the window to open, essentially. So, you know the saying, when one door closes, another one opens. It's kind of like your guides are saying, you've been looking for another open door, but what you need to look for is a window. Sometimes something opens and it's not what we're expecting. It's not what it was that we thought would open, but I just heard exit strategy. It's your exit strategy for where you've been and where you want to be. So we're going to take a look at the cards. On this side, these two cards are, you know, your energies coming into this, things that have transpired, things that your ancestors have watched you go through and helped you with, and some clarity on certain things that may still be stuck within your energy field. This card is your signifier for right now. This is going to represent you. And then these two cards are some advice to move forward from your ancestors. So let's take a look at the cards. We have the card 21, Uriel and the Sphinx, and the card 1, the Oracle of Delphi. These are both considered major arcana cards in the Akashic Tarot deck. Both are very powerful, very prominent cards. We'll get into them. I want to get all the cards out and see the full picture for you all. So then we have the card 19 reversed with reflection is where you're at right now. And then the card 22 add some reversed. And the card 3 of roses, loving elementals, also reversed. If you have been here for a while, you know I don't generally read reversals. However, the last time I used the Akashic Tarot, as I was shuffling it, I literally heard the cards are ready to have reversals. And I didn't understand it at the time, but I said, okay, you know, if this is what needs to be, this is what needs to be. So I shuffled and got the reversals shuffled in. And as I pulled them out, I was like, should I switch them back? Because I always say I don't read reversals. And I got this huge resounding no. And now I understand why. So we're going to go to this past energy first, what you've been through. Your ancestors have been watching you, have been helping you, and they've been leading you to pieces of your past, pieces of things that are a part of your soul, a part of your soul's journey, that are helping to remind you of gifts that you have within. And Uriel and the Sphinx, of course, naturally, there is the Egyptian energy. There's Egyptian, we have Greek, ancient Greek mythology here, Roman energy. I was also picking up Italian, a very, very loving, tough as nails, kind of grandmotherly Italian energy. Very, very loving. I also picked up Russian and German, Holland, Denmark area, with a grandfatherly energy. So you may have some of those inclinations to those time periods, to those places, to those countries. You may feel as though you have been called to travel there or to research those past situations. And Uriel and the Sphinx really is talking about digging down through the inner sands and discovering what it is that's buried beneath it. But what I'm getting from Sphinx is there's actually an asteroid, a little known asteroid, that is called Sphinx. And that asteroid represents secrets, hidden wisdom, hidden awareness. Where you find it in your natal chart is your window, essentially. It's that unexpected understanding that you come to learn and grow and move through. The Oracle of Delphi, Pythia, also an asteroid, by the way. But the Oracle of Delphi worked with the god Apollo. The priestesses in Delphi were very high. They were high society. They did not have families, and if they did and were chosen to become one of the oracles, they had to forsake their family for their duty. They told the truth, but they told the truth based off of the messages that they got. So what I'm picking up here a lot is the past, 12 months to 3 years for you guys. There's been this calling to really dig deeply into yourself, to learn, to become aware of a different perspective of where you come from, essentially. Almost as though this journey guide is telling you that you've already been on a journey. You've already been doing this, but something recently has shifted for you. And there's this hyper focus on moving forward and keep going without enough time being given to reflect. And the reflection card, when it's upright, it talks about the things that you can see on the surface of the water, the reflection of the moon, the emotions that get elicited from a full moon. It talks about engaging in an activity of self-reflection. 12s, 21s, 22s are significant for this pile. I just saw 1212 on my clock. We've got 21, 1, 22, and 22. So this is really, I feel this very strong completion energy. And it's almost like everything just seems kind of stopped up and backed up with that completion energy. There's something that you don't want to look at, whether it's something internally within you or something outside in your outside world. There's just something that you don't seem to want to look at. And your ancestors have been trying to say, you're looking in all the right places outside of yourself. And now it's time to take all of that outside information, energy, awareness, revelations, and bring it internally so that you can accurately learn how to reflect. When you are able to more completely reflect internally, the changes, the awareness that you've been working on will begin to be reflected in the world outside of you. Any resistance, any doubt, any fear, any worries, it keeps you from seeing the truth of you. It keeps you from being able to move into that energy. And so moving forward, Your guides are saying right now, the feeling that you have that is being projected outward of I need to go here or I need to go there, I need to travel, I need to move, I need to do something, change something. That is an internal energy that you're not able to fully identify because you're not opening yourself up to that window because you're still looking for the door. And the more self-reflection that you do, when you feel this kind of, it's not quite anxiety, but it's like this pull to move, to go, it's almost runner energy. You know, they talk about runners and chasers. It's almost runner energy where you just kind of want to bolt because something within you has awoken and you're not sure whether you were ready for it. You're not sure whether you can handle it, but it would not have awoken within you if you were not at the place, the time, the space in your life in which it was absolutely ready to awaken. The path that you took to get here, whether it's to this reading, to wherever you're at, to the person that you are, the path that you took to get here was exactly what you needed to take. And it has brought you exactly where you need to be. I am here. I just heard, don't be afraid to look within you. There is nothing within you that you have to fear. You know that saying, there's nothing to fear but fear itself? This is kind of that situation. It's almost as though you have this fear that when you look inside, it's this equally, I'm going to be right about myself and I'm going to be wrong about myself. There's an equality of fear and concern about both being right and being wrong. And it boils down to the things within you that you think that you're going to be right about and the things that you think you're going to be wrong about. And it's reversed. It's reversed. So what your guides want you to know is when you look within, when you take that inner journey, when you take that inner step to seeing yourself, to looking at all of what you contain and all of the wisdom and the knowledge and the awareness and the gifts that you contain within you, when you take that time out to really sit down and reflect, let the energies flow through that you're feeling, but don't react to them. Don't jump immediately into, I need to do this and I need to do that and I need to do this, and start planning these extravagant things or these massive changes, but instead just sit in the energy. Sit in the energy and let yourself feel it, and then say, okay, what is it within me that is making me feel this way? Am I afraid of being alone? Am I afraid of doing this by myself? Am I afraid that I'm not good enough? Am I afraid that I'm not capable enough? Am I afraid that I will succeed? Am I afraid that I will be seen, that I will be heard, that I will be loved? What is it that you're afraid of? Once you identify that, now ask yourself why you feel that way. What is buried within you that makes you feel that way? And how are you able to tap into the person that you keep looking at of yourself in the past, who was taking these steps and doing these things and seemed so confident and so assured and so ready, that you think is lost to you, but is not. That person isn't gone. That person is growing every single day. Sometimes we come face to face with the bigger issues, with the root of the issue, so that we can actually face it and deal with it. And that's why this reflection card is reversed, is because you're wanting to run from it, and your ancestors are saying, please look at this. Sit with it. Let it teach you, because we're here surrounding you and we want to help you. The Add Some card, I'm going to actually move it closer for you. The Add Some card has this woman, and she's holding a book, but she's not reading the book, because there's an angel whispering in her ear, and there are ancestors around her and fairies and guides, and there is a man bringing her more books. And so she's got all these things around her, all of these things. And the Add Some card talks about saying, add some, I have arrived. It is time for you to arrive to your place in the world, to your dreams, to your hopes, to your wishes, to your goals. This is your time to be here. It's time for you to stand up and say, add some, I have arrived. But the more whispering in your ear of your fears, your doubts, your insecurities, the more you seek guidance that you know doesn't sound right, it's kind of like there's this kind of whispering coming through the collective of misdirection. It wants us to be looking elsewhere aside from within. But that's not Spirit's energy coming in. Spirit is saying, can you hear what is whispering in your ear and distracting you? And when you do, now you can realign and readjust and say, add some, I have arrived. I am here. I am present. I am here to hear you, Spirit, to connect to you. I am here to listen to you, ancestors, and connect to you. Because right now, the more that these thoughts and emotions swirl through you without enough time to really let them teach you and guide you, the more it brings up these shadowy aspects, and those shadowy aspects just whisper and whisper and whisper, and we don't realize how dominant they become, how prominent they become, until it's so overwhelming that that's all we can hear. And we lose touch with our connection to our inner child, to Mother Earth, to the elements, to our power, to what we know is true for us and what we know is our right path. And we become distracted, internally distracted. And that distraction starts showing in the external world. So if you've been scatterbrained, if you have been forgetting things, if you have been feeling as though there's an insurmountable mountain in front of you and you just can't do it, so you would rather just go back to the way it was before. First of all, you're not the only person who's ever felt that way. Secondly, you can get through this. You are strong enough. You will overcome this energy. But this is a time where you're being asked to expand upon your inner world. You're being asked to feel into your dreams and your hopes and your wishes and let that expand out. Take a journey of discovery with yourself, a self-reflection discovery, and learn how to discern or sift through all the noise going on in the world, all the noise of other people's opinions and other people's beliefs and the things that your mind will tell you because it's been conditioned to believe that you are less than what you are. And get back in touch with your nature, your natural way of being, so that you are able to once more walk out your front door and truly see the beauty in everything around you. To see that beauty out there means that you know that you are beautiful internally and externally, and now the world is helping reflect that back to you. Your guides want you to be aware that there's a difference between loneliness and being alone. you aren't alone. Right now you may feel alone, but you're not. You're not alone at all. There's this essence of loneliness, and the more that this loneliness coalesces with the fears and the doubts and the worries and the insecurities, the more it feels as though there's this veering off of your path in your mind, in your intentions, in your actions, and they keep gently nudging you. Do this, try this, do this. And when you do these certain things, you get this uplift of energy and really happy. But they want you to recognize the pattern of when things get uplifting and happy and energetic, there is this part of you within that you have to find yourself. You have to find where it came from and really recognize that it's there. But there's that part of you that expects it to fall apart. You expect the worst to happen. And the more that you expect that, the more that you won't be able to stand there and say, this is who I am and this is where I am and I am here. They really, really want you to look at the world, at nature, at what is surrounding you, to see how beautiful everything is, and to understand that the reason why you are able to perceive that beauty is because you are beautiful. Because you are beautiful. So we have the swan, demonstrate grace and majesty, and the owl, listen to the messages of the angels. All right. I'm going to move the swan up for you guys because I would butcher that archangel's name. So I want you to look that archangel up, because both the swan and the owl are the same archangel, which means this is an energy coming in very strong. The message very clearly. You are being guided. And it's like a preventative guidance here to make sure that you stay on course, because even an ancestor of place, they want the best for you. They want you to succeed, because when you succeed, they succeed. Sometimes it's like you don't fully see who you really are, what you're capable of. And because of that, you get scared. Like, who am I to do this? Who am I to believe I can do these things? It's in your energy field. It's in your awareness because it's part of you. So we're going to get 2 more here. It says, as soon as I choose to see the light in the dark corners, I redirect my power toward what I want. Yes, exactly. This is exactly what I've been saying. This is about seeing face to face these pieces of you and saying, like, I have arrived. Like, I see this darkness and I know that it's within me and I understand where it came from and I am now aware, and it does not have control over me. It may whisper in my ear, but I do not have to listen to it. I am moving forward and I trust in where I'm going. I trust that my powerful intentions combined with my faith are enough to allow my vision to become my reality. Wow. I absolutely love when cards fall and it says exactly what I've been saying. But really this is, you've done so much. You have done so much work. You have made major changes and taken huge steps in your life. And now it's okay to let yourself reflect back on who you were, where you've come from, what you have gone through, how you have changed, because when you do that self-reflection, you see those subtle aspects and you give yourself far more grace, because you see how you have moved through so many situations in your life that have truly been so challenging. And you've done this beautifully. You have grown, you have changed, you have transformed. And you're coming to a phase where it's okay to be who you are out in the world. When you bring light and awareness into those shadowy aspects and those small but subtle but ever-present steps and words that are telling you things that are not true about you and your path, when you bring that light in, you will discover an inner sense of trust of the decisions you have made, where you're at, and why you're there. So that when you move forward on your next step, for your next stage of this journey, you will know where you're going, why you're going there, and you will feel in every fiber of your being, in every cell of your body, you will know. It won't be this rash emotional reaction. It will be a very calm, very centered, I know what I am doing is what is right for me. And right now, your ancestors are coming in to help you with that, because a little bit of love goes a really long way. And sometimes we just need that slight nudge, that small, simple reminder. I'm seeing like a little string tied around the finger, which is, something from, I want to say the 90s, where it's a visual reminder. This is your reminder, and you can come back to this as often as you need it as you're doing this self-reflection, as often as you need it to be able to hear this assurance if you need it. But remember that you are capable of trust and hearing and wisdom and insight and beauty and truth and love. You are capable of discovering all of that within yourself. I sit here blessed to just be the messenger. But I know that all I do is show you what you already contain within, what you already know, and sometimes remind you of the things that you have forgotten. Right now, it's like your guides want to keep, I'm seeing somebody herding cattle. They want to make sure that you stay where it's right for you, where your heart and soul feel safe, where you have love and nurturing, where you're connected to where you're at in a different way than how you've ever seen connection before. You guys may have been called to pile 3 as well, because I just felt like this line energy between the two. But this is very much your guide saying, take a look at everything, reflect, and make a decision that's based off of your heart, not your outside world, not your perception of things, not the things that seem too difficult or insurmountable, but how do you feel? What makes you happy? What do you dream of? And then move from that space, that assurance, through your intuition, working with your guides, working with spirit, and listening to your heart. You cannot and will not go wrong. Pile 1, this was an absolutely beautiful reading. I want to say thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all the work you've done on yourself. Thank you for all the steps you've taken. Don't beat yourself up. for anything. You are a beautiful, beautiful soul. Thank you so much to your guides, my guides, and your ancestors for facilitating the connection, for bringing us together, for bringing us into a community so that these messages may get out when you need them, as you need them. I also want to say thank you to Spirit. Thank you so much, Spirit, for my gifts, for the opportunity for me to share my gifts with the world freely, and for all that you give to all of us. If this video resonated, you guys know the drill. There's the like button, share, subscribe, notification bell so that you don't miss any upcoming videos. All the same links. If you're new to my channel, there are links to my books, links to my program with a 75% off discount using the coupon code ECLIPSE, and links to donate if you are so inclined. Pile 1, check out the description box for all of the technical information, but in as genuine as I can say from the depths of my heart, thank you so much. The world needs you, and you are a light, and I am honored to read your energy. Come back, because I love this energy. So thank you so much. I will see you guys next time. Bye. Hello, pile 2. So if you chose the second pile, the Wisdom of the Magi card, this is your message, but I did want to open with an intention. I would like to set the intention for clarity and conciseness, for peace and understanding, for greater awareness and guidance. And I'd like to open the energy to the ancestors of time for pile 2. Okay, pile 2. The first thing that I was picking up was you have come through this. I'm seeing a lot of fog. And this is the card of mental clarity. But when I say fog, this is, we talk about brain fog because you can't quite pull the words out. You can't remember things, just memory kind of goes haywire. This is not that kind of fog. Everything, you remember it all. It's almost crystal clear to you. What was foggy was other people. It was almost as if as soon as you were coming around other people, this dense layer of fog just settled. And it's a very heavy feeling, very weighted down feeling. And I just heard the word illusions. What I am picking up is that you were in a phase recently, over the past 6 months, 6 to 9 months. I saw 7s and 8s, so we're going to go 6 to 9 months because, I'm reading for a collective, where you were coming into contact with people, and specific people you would notice. You would feel more like yourself. You would feel like you do when you're alone, and you don't feel pressured to do anything or to say anything or to be anything or be anywhere. That calm and peace of just me time. You'd come into people that would make you feel that same way, but then you come into contact with people and suddenly everything that they say makes sort of sense, but not, it doesn't quite feel right. And that was that fog. And so for the past 6 to 9 months, you've been learning this art of intuitively using your clairsentience, your claircognizance, to really recognize people's energy, but people's energy that truly meshes with yours and ones that don't. And as you developed this awareness, it brought you a lot of mental clarity about who you truly are. And kind of I'm seeing curtains closing, like the shades being drawn, the people who like to draw the shades on other people, those who like to project, those who like to cloak other people in this kind of, it's not quite toxic, and I don't know that the people realize they're doing it, but it's kind of this twisted, swirling energy, because they're so filled with confusion within themselves that it's taken on a life of their own, and you're starting to recognize the people in that state and how you interact with them. And you're realizing kind of, it's like, I'm seeing the Five of Swords, which is the card that I always say where it's pick your battles wisely. You're seeing when it's worth your time and energy to engage with people who are allowing and intentionally choosing to not hear guidance, but spreading the fogginess outward, or whether to take a step back and let them get it out, but no longer have it impact you. I hope that makes sense. I'm seeing the images a lot, and I'm trying to translate the images into, ironically, this is the mental clarity deck, so I'm trying to accurately transcribe it through my translator programs in my brain and my mouth. But that's what I was seeing. It's like there's two distinct, it was like you were shown two distinct polarities of clear energy, cloudy energy. And it doesn't even feel cloudy. Like, cloudy energy to me it's like a stormy energy, but this new energy that you were being shown was not quite that. It's just illusions, a lot of illusions. Kind of like people's perceptions of the planet Neptune and how it can create illusions. Except I think with Neptunian energy and how it's perceived as far as illusions goes, I don't need to get on my soapbox too much on that because that's for another time. But I think with Neptunian illusions, it's more of childlike fantasies and childlike dreams and how we can forget the realistic nature of the world. But this is more like someone who firmly believes in a complete and utter untruth, and it's a falsehood that is so blatantly obvious that it's almost astounding that they can believe it that strongly, that powerfully, and their belief in it is so powerful that it amplifies this false belief, and it settles it settles over the people around them like a heavy fog. Um, I'm having a little bit of an issue here with what Spirit wants me to talk about. Okay, I'm just going to do it. So I grew up in a religious household, and I had to go through this religious deconstruction. Now, when I was looking up the history of the Magi, because even though these cards, they have a booklet, I'm in the middle of my Pluto retrograde book, and I'm like thoroughly inured in Virgo energies, and Virgo energy is very much about getting to the information, that analyzing things, having the wisdom, but also having the knowledge, having the facts to back up something, even if you are getting facts to back up an intuition. So that's the energy I'm in, and that's very much this energy as well. You may have some prominent Virgo placements, just as a side note, or you may be a very mercurial person, such as myself. But the Magi is two separate concepts, and one of them was adopted into the Christian faith for the three wise men, for the birth of Jesus story. But the Magi are a group of priests. They're biracial. So essentially what I'm being shown is I can't even remember the name of the church, but there is a church, or an organization rather. I don't like to call it a church. It's an organization that is an all-inclusive. Spirit, I think it starts with an A. I will look it up after this, and I will put it down in the description box for you guys, because I think some of you might actually find it interesting. I really did. But it is literally like an all-inclusive place for people to come and get Baha'i faith. There it is. Okay. It's an all-inclusive place for people to come, and they come from every different religion. And it doesn't ask people to drop their religions at the door. It doesn't ask them to believe in somebody else's religion. It asks them to come in and to share. And when Dr. Brian Weiss wrote his book, Same Soul, Many Bodies, he talked about somebody who he had regressed, who remembered the life of Jesus. And then he talked about one of his own personal regressions where he also remembered being a friend to Jesus during Jesus's life. And he talked about what Jesus did was very much like what the Baha'i faith was. And it was taking all these informations and wisdoms of all these different cultures and methods of healing and psychic gifts and everything, and melding it all together to be more holistic. So this is you. This is what you've been learning how to do. And so you're now being shown these people who have this firm foundation built on a lie. And you're learning to discern or decipher, or you're learning how to sense and see the energy difference between these foundational lies and how these people operate, and people who are very open like you. But you're also able to see the people who are clouded, and it's more of an emotional turmoil and emotional discord. And so you're able to see where the mentality is, where the emotions are, where the clarity and the openness is. And over time, you're using these things to learn how to reach the foggy group. Like, you're trying to help the ones that most people believe can't be. believe don't want it, believe it's this impossibility, but you're like, no, if I can see it, if I can experience it, if I can know it, then I can find a way. And I can find a way that is a peaceful manner, that is more of an internal towards them. I don't know what this means necessarily. I think it is incredibly noble of you and incredibly awe-inspiring, and keep doing it. So that is the biggest, like, foundational message that your ancestors of time wanted you to know. This is something that you used to do. You used to be able, I'm actually seeing like an Indian chief and a medicine man and a healer and witches, or, you know, herbalists from really ancient times. Like I can't even tell you what time frame. It almost feels BC, a lot of it. So very, very long ago. Your soul was here during that time, and you have been slowly tapping into the gifts from that far back. And you have ancestors coming forward to help bring those gifts out, because you were very well sought after back then, and you were very important, and this was part of your soul mission back then. And I don't necessarily feel like it's part of your soul mission this time, but it feels intertwined or tied to it in some way, as though this is helping you to understand more another angle. Understand more on another angle. I'm like watching an angle shift. Understand more from a different angle of what you're capable of and how you can utilize that for yourself and for others in the world. So these two cards are where you came from to get here, you know, kind of the journey and the things that your ancestors of time have been there kind of guiding you on and watching and helping you with, that you may not have realized they were present during. This card down here represents your current energy, and this is your guidance, or, you know, just a little bit of love from your ancestors of time for moving forward in the next steps. So let's take a look at your cards. We have the card number 5 with wisdom. Yeah. And the card 21 with universe. Wow, guys. See, and I could feel that. And when you have 2 5s, 3 5s, financial and material changes, memories of love, and you are, oh my gosh. Okay. I promise you guys, I do not look at these cards ahead of time. I am absolutely astounded. You have multiple 5s on the board, but remember I was talking about those foundational lies that things are built on. You're getting clarity on those so that you can help people shift and change that. And yeah, this is like huge confirmation of that. But this right here, what I'm picking up is you've literally spent more of your life on a wisdom journey and being guided by the universe than not. And you, because of your life journey thus far, the reason why you're starting to be able to tell the difference between these 3 energies in particular is because you have been in all 3 of the energies. You have built your life on a foundational lie, and you have had to realize through outer interactions how much of a lie that was, break it down, rebuild it, And then you did that and you had all that emotional turmoil. And then you had to break that down, rebuild it. And now you have moved into this beautiful state of, you've built a foundation within you of, it matters not what anybody else says, what anybody else does. It matters not the reactions or actions of anyone else. It doesn't even matter if you engage in something that somebody else says is like really bad. It doesn't matter, because you have healed this root chakra of yours in a way that has utterly transformed everything in your life. And it has opened you up because of this rebuild that you've done. It has opened you up ever more to higher levels of wisdom, higher understandings, ways of perceiving, ways of understanding things that people do not see or perceive in the time that we are living. Oh, okay. You're my pile that I wanted to talk about it with. I was waiting for it to come back in. Okay, let me get back. That people now just, they don't see things that way. They're not able to pick up on the same things that you do. And you feel like a very interpersonal pickup. It's like, it can almost feel as though if you're alone and you're just like, say you're just like sitting in your house, you're watching TV, you're out for a walk or anything like that, like you're out in the woods just alone. When it's just you, it can almost feel like the times in which you are interacting with other people are illusions. It can feel as though your mind fabricated it. And that's why this mental clarity is coming in to say, no, that it's because you're your clearest self alone, because you've healed this. But you're starting to see and perceive and understand things on a level that other people don't, because you did that for yourself. And what I said, you were my pile that I was going to mention. Before I started filming, even like the intro and any of the other piles, before I started filming, I was sitting here and I was hearing, and this is, me admitting my lifelong obsession with Lord of the Rings. I have seen the Fellowship of the Rings more times than I can count. So as I'm sitting here, I was hearing the opening introduction that like sets the stage for the movie. And I heard, the world is changing. I can feel it in the water. I can feel it in the earth. I can smell it in the air. Much that once was is now lost. For there are none left, or there are none alive now who remember it. Something like that. That was where I got tripped up when I was trying to remember it. And I even watched the scene just to get that reminder. But I was waiting for when it was right to mention that, because I knew that that was one of the piles speaking to me. And honestly, I thought it was going to be a different pile. I did not expect it to be yours. But it makes perfect sense, because you're starting to remember things, ways of operating, ways of understanding, ways of perceiving. And like I said, with my translator program, ways of translating divine information into the physical world that history doesn't remember. Even the people who are the most spiritual and the most enlightened and awakened that we say do not remember the things that are awakening within you. And that's because this wisdom is imbued in your soul, in the very essence of who you are. But there was a lot of clearing and a lot of healing and a lot of building and tearing down and building and tearing down until you knew that each and every aspect of your core you, your base chakra, your foundation, your roots, your sense of safety and security and who you are was 100% solidified. You've been, there are fives all over the place. You have clearly been through excessively massive changes in your life. And now, moving forward, you again have changes coming in, but these changes that are coming in, they don't shock you, they don't surprise you, they don't scare you. It's almost as though you have emotionally detached, sort of, with this mental clarity. It's as though your shadow has been just completely cleansed. Your mind has been completely cleansed. So even the small little things, like little pings of the past doubts and worries that you had, are literally just like a fly buzzing in your ear. You just go away. And it does, because you recognize what it is and you know what it is, and you have this awareness of things that literally operates in lightning speed. Faster than I can snap, your brain will be able to clear it out, because you know and you trust. And the state of trust that you've moved into has been amazing. And I am seeing literally the whole of the universe has been watching you, has been there watching you. There has been very minimal guidance that I'm seeing from a lot of these. There's something about, I had talked about, what your soul, I think it was you guys, your soul, yeah, because your soul had contracted to be able to see these things. But there's the moments where you felt like, why am I doing this? Why do I have to do this myself? Do I not get any help? And then you'd get like a tiny little nugget of information, but you would have to go on this big long journey to expand that nugget. Your soul wanted the challenge, and the whole of the cosmos. Star seeds everywhere. Like, I see things in like timelines and time, like threads backwards and forwards, but I like a family tree, I can see it just kind of spreading backwards, but it almost looks like bloodlines just constantly blending. But I can see it just spreading to infinity because of how old your soul is. They have been there, like poised and ready for you to hit this point right here, right now. I don't know another way to say that. I don't like giving time frames. I don't like saying promises or anything like that, but there is this overwhelming right here, right now. This is why you're here. You came to this because you needed to understand that you weren't ever alone. And the reason why you can connect that much better now is because at the times in which you were going through those things and doing all of these things, you were building that root, that foundation. You were building it into an impenetrable force. It's a root chakra like I've never experienced before. Tapping into your root chakra energy, it's profound. It's profound. And because of this, now things are going to be shifting. So financial and material changes, that's clear and obvious. It's a tumultuous time. We're in a tumultuous world. But there's this assurance within you that, okay, well, I've seen the worst of it, and I know I've seen the worst of it. So whatever, little hiccups, it's fine. I have a path forward. I know what I'm doing, and as long as I'm following what I love and know that I'm just being me, that's shifted your financial and material world. It is shifting your financial and material world. And the more that happens, the more I've never experienced this before. This Six of Emotions is actually very similar to the Six of Cups. It's the Six of Cups for the Psychic Tarot deck. And the Six of Cups is a past card, but this specific one has a future energy, because you're going to be undergoing all of these financial and material changes, and for all of the memories that you have that try you, that test you, that have been hard, that have been heavy, that have brought you to your knees and made you cry. Sorry guys, I got the hiccups all of a sudden. It's energy flowing. All of the memories that you have had throughout your life, that you have had to reflect back on in order to do what you've done for yourself and for your base chakra, for your root chakra, for your sense of safety and security and assurance of who you are, for all of that, all of those hard things that you have had to look at. Going forward, the memories that you are creating, and it's not just in your personal life, but in the lives of all the people around you, are memories of love. Like there's love, there's happiness, there's joy. You're moving into a new phase in your life with these changes, with this healing and clarity. You're moving into a phase in your life in which everything you do is going to have some sort of it's almost like rose-colored memories attached to it, but not in the negative sense. It's like genuinely golden memories, genuine moments where every person you come into contact with is going to be able to remember you, and they're going to look back on you, and it's going to change things, and you don't have to do anything. So we have protection and trust. Absolutely. Okay. The protection here is, it's just kind of this confirmation that even though it felt as though you were alone, that you were doing all of this by yourself, on your own, that you were always protected. But you also have this kind of almost mission now that you can feel within you, that you have clarity on, and you don't have anything to worry about it. You are divinely protected. You are divinely blessed. There are changes and beautiful things coming in, and I don't do like false hope stuff. Sorry about that. If you could see my hair, I dropped a card. I don't do false hope or anything like that. I just don't do that. I will tell you how it is. But I feel very strongly this sense of complete shift. And what you don't realize is you made a choice. You made one choice to trust and to just go forward, to move forward. And when you did, everything finally aligned for you to understand. Now, there is this tiny, tiny, tiny inkling that I have that you're working on a project and you're a little worried about that project. Don't. That project is have you ever seen the movie First Daughter? It's with Katie Holmes, and she's the president's daughter, and they call her Lucky Charm. That's her code name. It's like your project has a code name and is surrounded by Secret Service agents. That's what I just saw. Like it's like in this top secret vault, and it's all surrounded. It's very, very like CIA, Secret Service, high level of security-esque that they just showed me. But they did show it to me in the version of Monsters Inc.'s security team, which is why I giggled. So we have the solar eclipse. Oh my gosh, you guys. Yeah, that's when the shift started for you. That's when the changes came in. And the eclipse is going to last. It spans through, but I'd have to pull up my charts. I want to say we do have the lunar eclipse, but I can't remember what the eclipse, the solar eclipse in the fall is. But this solar eclipse, it eclipsed something out of your life and simultaneously into your life. And I just heard everything threefold. Everything is coming back. Triplicates, which is kind of ironic. Not really, because you've got 3 5s here. And as I was filming your intro, and I didn't mention it to you guys because I was deep in the throes of channeling, and I understand now, you know, why I needed to wait on it. I did see 333 on my clock. So I'm going to see if I can get one more. Okay, here we go. Ascendant. Oh, are you a Taurus rising? Maybe. Or the solar eclipse was interacting with your ascendant sign, your rising sign. That's the point in your birth chart of where the sun came in over the horizon when you were born. Not always your sun sign. Also check your, I'm hearing your progressed rising sign. If your progressed rising sign is in Cancer, or not Cancer, but in Capricorn, in Virgo, or in Taurus, the solar eclipse in Taurus would have had a direct and profound impact on you, because it would have been either trining you or conjunct, I'm hearing. So it just kind of depends on where it's at, if that's one of your ascendant signs. Alternately, you may be starting to tap into the energy of your rising sign. If it is different from your sun sign and you have been associating yourself with your sun sign your whole life like I do, you may be learning how to tap into your rising sign. And that gives you more clarity, but it also creates this more whole sense of you. So I just want to get a couple more messages from the universe. Okay. It says, I am kind and loving towards others while creating clear boundaries that protect my good feeling emotions. Yes, this is what you were working on. And it was started off with creating your boundaries, and then it was learning to, I just keep hearing decipher. Like it was a code to you, like it was a puzzle, something you needed to solve. I let the universe catch up with my dreams. Should go into a pause phase. Oh. Okay. I had 2 that pseudo flipped and then they flipped back, and I just wanted to make, there it is. Okay. Spiritual alignment puts my manifestation into motion. So yeah, you learned how to tap into your rising sign, into another aspect of who you are that either you didn't know about prior, or that you knew about but you didn't fully resonate with. Helping yourself learn and understand and flow and work with this energy. And you've really, like, you've done so much. You've done so much and you've gained so much, and now you're really shifting into such huge changes in such a beautiful way. And it's almost kind of like you're like, okay, but you know, I'm good. Like I know that this is coming, but I just need to keep focus and keep doing this. And that, I want to say, that mentality, that mindset, that action and motion, that's why things are working for you. This wisdom of the Magi and the mental clarity and your ancestors of time, they're going to be coming through a lot more clearly. The one thing that I'm hearing right now is Mayan and Celtic, and there was something else. Spirit, what was? Look into ancient civilizations in the Mediterranean area. It may be something smaller, but let your intuition guide you. There's something over there, but they're showing me like pueblos from, Mexico, and then I heard Aztec, but it doesn't feel quite like that energy. And then I was shown a map with the Mediterranean Sea, and it was just kind of glowing. So there's something in those areas, but those are the areas for the time that you were here. And maybe it's just looking at the maps or looking into something from that time frame that will help trigger something within you, that will help bring more of this mental clarity or something, or will just be a confirmation for you. Whatever it is, that's what I was shown. Today's readings have been way in depth, and this has been just amazing for me. It's been magical. Pile 2. I'm in awe. So thank you very much for being here. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for the work you've done, for everything. Thank you. Thank you for being here during this time as a soul. Thank you. Thank you. I want to take this time to thank your guides and my guides, to thank your ancestors of time for helping facilitate this connection, bringing these messages through, bringing this clarity through, bringing this love and peace and guidance through. Thank you so much. And I want to say thank you so much to Spirit for the blessings of my amazing gifts that I am able to freely share with the collective to bring more light to their lives, more understanding, and more awareness. I am forever grateful. As always, if this resonated, please like it, share it, the whole shebang or spiel. I don't know. I heard shebang. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And down in the description box, there will be links to my books available on Amazon. Stay tuned. I am days away from finishing up and being able to go and get the Pluto retrograde book published and out to you guys. It is amazing right now, this energy that I've been tapping into. So this is a great tool and technique to help with the transformations and the changes that you're moving into and then out of in the coming months here. That guide is phenomenal. I am in awe of it. I don't like to talk myself up because I try to be a very humble person, but I am telling you, the messages I've channeled, the energy I have tapped into is astounding. And yeah, it, like, when we work with it, it's just amazing. So don't miss out on that. I'll include links and, do an update to let you guys all know when it's out. There's also a link to my program, Breaking Boundaries, Finding Freedom. 75% off discount code, ironically, with the word eclipse. The link for that is in the description box. And for anybody interested in donating, there are links in the description box as well. Pile number 2s. I love you, love you, love you. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing. You lifted my spirits for sure. And I'm just honored. I will see you guys all again next time. I love you. Bye. Hello, Pile 3. If you chose the third card, the card Connections, this is your pile, and these are your messages from your ancestors of blood. And before we get started, I want to open with an intention. I set the intention for clarity, for honesty, for gentleness, for grace, for guidance, and for purpose. And I open the energy for clear, concise messages from the ancestors of blood for Pile 3. I apologize if you can hear my cat Bella. It's likely she found herself a Nerf dart and she likes to scream quite loudly when she does that. So the card Connections is number 29, which reduces to an 11, which is a master number. And it is a number of creation and creativity and leadership and taking the helm for your own life, going in your own way, your own direction. And this Connections card talks about partnership, contract, commitment. But this is about more so how you view what partnership and commitment is, how you view others and how you commit to others in comparison with how you view yourself and how you commit to yourself. As I was tapping into the energy of your card, I felt like I was plunged into this state of stasis or stillness or pause. And it felt kind of confusing, a little bit uneasy, and I asked Spirit and your ancestors to help me understand what energy it was that I was experiencing. I apologize if you guys heard a noise. I needed to move my microphone a little bit closer. What I was shown was a small child sitting and observing, quietly observing, parents arguing, parents getting divorced, parents going behind each other's back and lying to each other. I was shown a child in school in which the teachers were very judgmental, very standoffish, very they were very diminishing. These may be your experiences, but this to me is more of, it's about the energy and the lessons in childhood about what it means to be an adult, what it means to interact with children, what a commitment looks like, and how that can become skewed. And as I'm looking at this Connections card, I get this sense that your ancestors, and because this is the ancestors of blood, this is about, ancestral patterning in your family line in this life. I get this sense that they have been all around you watching as you have grown, as you have changed, as some of you may be parents or may be becoming parents. Some of you, I'm getting this energy very similar to the Empress. I'm getting a lot of Empress energy. So some of you may be pregnant, but some of you may also have just recently got engaged or moved in with somebody new. And it has presented an internal challenge because it has brought up, without bringing the memories up necessarily, it has brought up a lot of the emotions and the confusion from the things that you learned about these kind of relationships in your childhood. But what I can feel very strongly is though your ancestors are all around you and watching you because you are so different. In a very beautiful way, you are so different from the environment and the surroundings and the things that you were immersed in as a child. and they see you like this beacon of light. Because when you're in this life and your soul is healing karmic patterns and you're healing ancestral patterns and generational patterns, it's no easy journey. It's no easy feat. There are so many things that happen and so many emotions and so much frustration and anger and resentment and hostility that arises within you that you have to heal out, and you have to find a way to utilize that in the right way so you don't fall into those same patterns. But it only takes one soul within a family line to do things differently for that healing energy to disperse and spread. It's like a ripple effect or the butterfly effect. You having undergone everything you have and then making the choice to step up and take a leadership role in your life and say, I know my worth and I know who I am and I know what my heart says, and I'm getting into this relationship and I'm trusting what my heart says. Or I know that I am going to be the parent that I wish that I had, or I am going to, it's along those lines. It's different for each one of you how it's going to present itself and how it is actually playing out in your life. But the choice that you made to follow your own guidance, follow your own heart, created a ripple effect. And there is so much pride and gratitude for you, for making this change, for being you. And I feel very strongly as though your ancestors really want you to connect more with them, to let them share with you the understanding, the wisdom, the insights that they have on a spiritual level now that they may not have been able to while they were here. So we're going to take a look at the cards. The first two cards are what brought you here. The situations, the events, the lesson, energy, whatever it was that drew you here. And it has been this repeating pattern that it's, ways that your ancestors want you to know that they were there with you, watching over you and helping you, even if you didn't see or feel them. This middle card is your energy right now. And these last two cards are some gentle, loving advice from your ancestors moving forward. So let's take a look at your cards. We have the Ace of Air. It says, brilliant new ideas and inspiration, seeing the truth of the situation, a challenging beginning. And then we have card 11 and Strength with Archangel Ariel. And it says, great inner strength, release harsh judgments, forgiveness and compassion. Your energy is the Seven of Fire. Defend your beliefs and decisions, stand your ground, choose your battles wisely. Then we have the Queen of Water, tender-hearted, empathetic, patient, loving. Relationships develop to a new level. Trust your intuition, care for yourself and others. And then the Seven of Air. Plans that need revision. More going on than meets the eye. Poor timing. Okay, so first of all, can we point out that we've got 29, which reduces to an 11, the card 11, the Ace, which is a 1, and we have 7 and 7. So 1s and 7s are likely important to you. Some of you someone here may have become a mother at the age of 17. And this is something that was a major turning point in your life. But this Ace of Air, I'll bring it up to you. This Ace of Air, as you can see, it almost looks like a very young, I would call it a pegacorn. That's what my kids call it, a unicorn with wings. It's a Pegasus and a unicorn. But this challenging beginning is talking about those challenges in your childhood, those challenges in your youth, even through your teenage years. The moments in which you started something new, whether it was starting high school, graduating, starting college, starting your first job, learning to drive, anything and everything that was a beginning point for you that you found was something that challenged you or brought more light to the challenges that you had in your childhood. Your ancestors so deeply want you to understand that those challenges, those beginning challenges, were there because every single time what you did was you harnessed this inner strength that you have, and you allowed yourself to become inspired by the trials, by the hardships, by those moments that for other people would have broken them and left them battered and unable to continue moving forward. And you were not that person. And your ancestors were there every single time, encouraging you as much as they could and helping guide you, giving you signs, helping put certain people on your path to help you grow. And throughout the process, you learned something that they were unable to teach you, that you were unable to be taught when you were a child, which was that everyone is deserving of forgiveness and compassion. And that includes you. And nothing that you do is a mistake. Nothing that you do is wrong. It is a learning experience. And you learned how to see all the things that you had gone through in a way that helped you grow, but will or is helping you now as a parent, or as a teacher, as an aunt or uncle, as someone in a leadership position within the family. People in your family look up to you, even the ones that are older than you. Even if you don't believe me, even though you don't realize it or they don't tell you, they genuinely do look up to you and admire you for your strength, for your resilience, for your tenacity, and your willingness to continue moving forward on your own path, in your own way, because they were never taught that it was okay. And I get the sense like you weren't taught that it was okay. You had to give yourself permission and teach yourself. And you learned through the universe. And right now, you may be facing a challenge where you feel like you have to stand in defense and say, this is my choice. This is why I'm doing it. But I have the sense that your ancestors really wanted this message to come to you today, no matter when you're finding it, because it is a timeless reading. But they wanted this to come into your awareness today because you don't always have to feel as though you have to justify what you have decided for yourself, what you believe for yourself. When you hold to your inner truth, the only defense you need to make is that this is my truth. I love you, and you are free to believe what you want, or you are free to choose your direction, and so am I. I'm going to love and support you, and therefore you step into this leading by example role, and you don't need to come out into the world or come into interactions with your family automatically expecting there to be conflict, you can come into it in a state of peace and trust that when or if you find that someone comes and says, well, this isn't right because of this reason, or you shouldn't do that, you're too young, or anything like that, you can harness a different perspective, a different energy. You can actually take that forgiveness and compassion and understand that they're going based off of the frame of reference that they have for their life, and they weren't taught differently. So you now have the opportunity to say, instead of getting defensive, instead of getting standoffish, I'm going to say, I understand where you're coming from. This is my stance. And it's okay if you end up coming to a point of we can agree to disagree on it, because only you know what is right in your heart. And especially if you're in a relationship that you feel like you're up against the odds on it for whatever reason, whether it's family or society or anything like that, if your heart is there, if the relationship is healthy and joyful and filled with love and truth, and you are your true self, you are in this relationship and you don't feel as though you need to stand your ground, you don't need to justify yourself, your life, your actions, your wishes, your hopes, your dreams, your beliefs, the things that you do, the things that you love. If you don't feel as though you have to defend who you are, honey, that's a healthy relationship. That's how it's supposed to be. I just heard you no longer need to expect the other way, because that's not how it is this time. And going forward, your ancestors want you to understand that when you drop this guarded defensiveness that you're holding to, when you drop that and allow yourself to open to intimacy and open to connection and open to true, full commitment within your heart, you're going to shift out of this strong warrior energy where you know that every fight is going to be a knockdown, drag out war, but you know that you're going to conquer because you've done it before and you'll do it again, and you'll learn how to move in a much different way, in a much more emotional way, because the more that you do that, when you face this 7 of air or 7 of swords energy where it feels like the timing is always off and something is missing, there's some sort of deception, you'll understand and realize that you have an intuitive gift to be able to see beyond what the eye can see, to move from the heart and to trust that what you're doing and where you're going and how you're operating is the right thing. And if you run into a wall or what feels like a stop point or a blockage or anything like that with connections, you will be able to identify where it is that you have allowed yourself to get back into the state of, I have to fight, I have to be strong, I have to do this and I have to do that for everyone else, or I have to get defensive and you put up a wall. You'll, moving forward, be able to understand that you can trust others, but you can trust yourself. You can love yourself first and foremost and then take care of others. Even if it's not what you were taught, you can do that, and then you can teach your children to do that, so that that pattern becomes the repetitive one, the one where it's make sure that you are not self-sacrificing, but that you give to yourself first, and others second. And then you can bring this strength card and the water card into this beautiful balance. And the funny thing is as I was preparing for this pile, before that sense of kind of emptiness or loss or confusion came in, I got this understanding that you may have in your natal chart, you may have either your ascendant in Aquarius and your descendant in Leo, or you have your ascendant in Leo and your descendant in Aquarius. Now this isn't something that's required for this message to resonate, but some of you may have that, and the strength card is the Leo card. The other one that I was getting was the late degrees of Cancer and Capricorn, with the descendant specifically in Capricorn. The reason why I say this is because right now Pluto is retrograde in the later degrees of Capricorn. So it would be transforming how you view connections if your descendant falls in that area. But Saturn is also in the third decan, or from, I think he's at 23 or 24 degrees right now. You moved out at 23, so 24 degrees of Aquarius. And Aquarius and Leo are opposite sides. So when he crosses either your ascendant or your descendant, he brings with this sense of kind of limitation or structure, this cause and effect, and his energy moving through, if you have one of those placements, could very well be helping you to understand more about your childhood, the things that you were taught, the ways that you believed the rules were, and helping actually transform that for you by teaching you what is right for you versus what was right with the rest of your family, or how things have gone through the generations of your family. Okay, so we have Panda, stay balanced and in your essence. And it's Archangels Mary, Jophiel, and Sandalphon. And then we had Rat, be true to yourself and the universe will reward you. Archangels Gabriel and Zadkiel. And I haven't been doing back of the deck today, but this one popped out and I had just started shuffling, and so I wanted to see if it did it again, just to check. And this is the swan. It says demonstrate grace and majesty. And I can't pronounce that archangel's name. I'm not even going to try. But if some of you are here from pile 1, hi. I was picking up a little bit of that energy. So Archangels Gabriel and Zadkiel. Zadkiel is the angel of mercy, the angel of grace, the angel of forgiveness. And Archangel Gabriel is all about communication. I love, okay, of course not sewer rats, like, unless it's sensei, but I absolutely love pet rats. I had one when I was a teenager. They are some of the most loyal pets you'll ever have. They are warm and loving and just so beautiful. And they are very true to you. When they are your pet, they are very true to you. That is huge. I had hamsters and rats as pets when I was a kid, and rats were so much more loyal than hamsters were. But the rat over here is really saying it's okay to have compassion, it's okay to forgive, it's okay to have mercy for other people, but it's also okay to do that for yourself. And because you have been doing this, because you have been learning this, and talking about it, opening up about it, it's helping you to move into a better state of being. And this is all about you really being true to you. And there's so much mothering energy here, especially with the two pandas. There's so much mothering energy. But this is really about knowing that even being true to yourself, you can still be in a relationship and be true to you. As long as the relationship is a warm, loving, healthy connection, being in it doesn't mean that you're sacrificing who you are. It means that you're embracing having a deeper connection, a deeper love, and learning how to trust someone outside of yourself. So we have courage. Again, so much Leo energy here. And then inspiration. I absolutely love how your past is starting to flow more into the future guidance that we've got here. Because we have inspiration here and inspiration here. And the thing that I love about this inspiration card is it's all about taking the darkness that you have been in, taking the hard times, the lessons, the challenges, and turning it into inspiration in your life. And this especially is about using your own personal power, your own solar plexus, your sense of self and self-worth, and shining that into the world regardless of what anyone else would say about it, because you are being 100% true to you. And I'm looking at this, there's like a diamond here connecting these two, and it almost looks like that's what she's holding here. Just with the correlation of it, it's like, oh, I apologize for that, guys. It's like you literally are holding in your hands what you need. Did someone just get a diamond ring or an emerald and diamond ring? It's beautiful. So it says, when I'm tuned in to the energy of abundance, I become abundant. Ooh, let me get one more. I am really just like knocking the microphone with your pile. I apologize so much. I choose to be a super attractor and have unwavering faith in the universe. And then there is, I am in awe of the magnificent guidance that's available to me. This I am in awe and the inspiration card feel very connected. I get the sense that you feel like people just don't understand you. You feel like you have had to fight so much for everything in your life that you don't know necessarily if you're safe to not do that. And right now it's okay to not. Right now it's okay to really be open and welcoming and say, you know what, I am ready to be inspired. The best part about Leo energy is Leo is the ruler of the 5th house. And the 5th house people see as the house of children. But it's also about your inner child. It's about letting your inner child play. It's about creative expression and finding ways to take the hardships, the pains, the anguish, and turn it into creative expression in whatever way it presents itself. Learning how to speak from your personal power and let that be fueled through your heart, which is what I see here. Is it's like they want you to connect this inspiration with this sense of awe for who you are and what is available to you in the universe, because for every moment, every situation that you went through in life, you were never alone. And there were moments that if you allow yourself to reflect back on and look back on, you'll see there were these moments that were almost mystical and magical when everything just kind of fell together the right way And even if it was something that fell together the right way and lasted for a short amount of time before things got really chaotic again and challenging again, it was still a reprieve moment. And that was helping you learn your own strength, helping you learn that it's okay to rest, that it's okay to be true to yourself. It's okay to take care of yourself. It's okay to be you. Because when you are yourself, then you are open and welcoming to connecting to other people, and you are the leader. You are shining out, and you are setting the example that it is okay to do this and this and this. You can run into these issues and still do this. When you have these hard times, you can ask for help, and there is help to be gained. When you open yourself to all of these things, you step forward more fully, more completely into what you're here to do and what you want to do, but also into healthy, whole, loving relationships. Whether that is you healing your relationship with your mother and or your father, whether that is you and your children having a healthier relationship than that with which you had as a child, or whether it is you have found a new love and it scares the bejesus out of you because you've been there before, you have felt that before, and trying to allow yourself to reconnect to somebody that you love, even if it's not romantic love, this could be friendships, letting yourself connect to loving someone else or new people in your life when you've been burned, when you've been hurt, when you have had to fight and stand on your own 2 feet and never give up, when it feels like the world has given up on you. When you've had to live that life, you have so many stories to share. You have so many things within you, so many nuggets of wisdom and pieces of the puzzle for other people that you don't even realize. And the more that you open yourself up to how abundant you are in courage and guidance and strength and help for others, for compassion and teaching others compassion and teaching how to not judge but feel and heal and move forward, you're going to come to a point, and I can see it. I can see you coming to a point where you sit down and you say, I'm in awe of my life. I'm in awe of myself. I'm in awe of my changes, my progress. I'm in awe of everything. And the more you move yourself towards that point, the more that these moments come in, and it isn't reprieve moments anymore. It's regular. It's normal. It's normal to feel happy. It's normal to be in love. It's normal to have these beautiful friendships and connections. It's normal to be loved. It's normal to receive. It's normal to believe, because it's your natural essence. Pile 3, I'm not seeing anything else. I'm not hearing anything else. I do feel a lot of love for you. I feel like there are ancestors all around you, hugging you, holding you. Some of you may be crying or may have cried recently. And there's this sense of like tingles or tickles on my shoulders, or my shoulders just went cold, and I saw someone just place their hands on my shoulders. If you've experienced this recently, this is one of your ancestors of blood that is one of the ones that started the pattern that you're breaking out of generations ago. And they are so grateful, and they love you so much. And you have taught them, and they are doing everything they can to help you, including making sure that you know that you're not alone. Pile 3. You guys are warriors, you are survivors, and you are infinitely creative. And I, for one, am excited to find out what it is that you turn everything into in this world, because it's going to be beautiful, just like you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to my guides and your guides and your ancestors of blood for facilitating this connection, for bringing these messages forth, and for giving this beautiful, loving guidance and energy to you. Thank you so much, Spirit, for my wonderful, beautiful gifts that I am blessed to be able to share with others and help others with. Pile 3, if this video resonated, you know the drill. Go for it, like it, share it, subscribe to my channel, and make sure you get the notifications set up so that you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. Down in the description box, there will be a link to the Weezer song, as I mentioned in the intro. There will also be links to my books that you can find on Amazon. They are all self-help books based off of my journey in life. There's also a link to a program of self-empowerment, self-help, and opening up to your creative side. And there is a 75% off coupon code down in the description box for that program, Breaking Boundaries, Finding Freedom. There's also links if you would like to donate to my channel. Not necessary. Always welcome, always appreciated. If you do donate and put your name on there and want a personal shout out, I would be more than happy to. So thank you again for being here, but thank you for continuing to move forward. Thank you for continuing to choose yourself and your path and your growth, and for being the change. Thank you for being the leader. I am very honored to have been able to bring these messages forth, so thank you again. I will see you guys all in my next video. I love you. Bye.